Lazy exercise. You can't work out a bad diet, or you can't outwork a bad diet. Well, that's the expression anyway, right? Incorrect. I disagree. Because the whole point of a calorie deficit, the main point that a lot of people tend to not promote when they should promote, that's the most important part, is the calories out part of the calorie deficit. It's not enough to eat less calories. That is part of it, right? If you eat less calories, then that means you're putting less calories in your body. So when you do any physical activity, you're going to burn more calories than you put in. So mathematically, you're going to burn more than you put in. So you're going to take out of your body more than you put into it. Mathematically, you're going to go into a negative, right? You're going to get into negative numbers, and your weight will go down. But notice that I mentioned calories have to go out, right? You have to take stuff out, and one way you take stuff out is through cardio, right? Through physical activity. So it's the whole eat less, move more. It's not eat less and that's it. It's eat less, move more. That's what calories in, calories out means. It's just that there's an emphasis on understanding that calories is the reason you're big, but it's also the reason you can get small, right? Because you have to know how to manipulate the calories, right? Less calories in, more calories out. So it's eat less, which is less calories in, move more, aka walk. Walking is a movement, right? Walking is moving. Walk more, calories out more, right? More calories out than in. That's what these two concepts are referring to. The problem is a lot of these influencers, right? A lot of these gurus tend to focus on trying to get people to understand the calories in part, because they think that the main issue is how much calories people put into the body. At first, yes. At first, when somebody's like, oh, I want to lose weight, I don't know how to lose weight, blah blah blah. The first thing you tell them is to eat less, because the reason they're big is because they're eating more calories than they burn. So you tell them to eat less, so that way, if they are burning a lot of calories, not 3,000 calories a day. Let's say they're burning 1,500 calories a day, but you're telling them to eat like 1,200 calories a day. That puts them in a 300 calorie deficit. But you have to burn a certain amount of calories for the deficit to work. You cannot lose weight burning 800 calories a day, or let's say you burn 500 calories or 200 calories a day. Let's say you're so super lazy, you barely burn, 500 calories, but you're eating 1,000 plus calories. Now, the likelihood of you only burning 500 calories, it's very slim, like, because just sleeping 8 hours already burns 400 calories. If you sleep 10 hours, that's 500 calories. So just sleeping already burns like close to 500 calories. So the idea of you not burning a minimum 500 calories a day, would be ridiculous. So that's why if you only eat 1,000 calories but don't do nothing but sleep, right? You're not gonna burn that. You're only burning half of what you ate. But we know you're not gonna sleep all day, right? So you're gonna eventually wake up and you're gonna do stuff. These things you do, this physical activity, walking, for example, you might walk and do 3K or 5K steps. 3K or 5K steps, that's between 300 to 500 calories. So if you walk at least 5K steps a day, plus you sleep for 10 hours, right? That right there is 1,000 calories. And if all you eat is 1,000 calories, then it causes you to break even. Now, granted, you're not going to gain weight, but you're also not going to lose weight because you're breaking even. So the idea is you want something beyond that to burn calories. So that's why we point out, do 10,000 steps a day, right? That right there's 1,000 calories. Add the sleep, which is between 400 to 500 calories, so you're already burning roughly 1,500 calories a day just by sleep and walk and the 10K walk, right? Which is about 100 minutes, which is an hour and 40 minutes, which is almost 2 hours, right? Almost 2 hours worth of walking within a 16-hour time period, right? Because of course you sleep for 8 hours or 8 to 10, but you get the idea that it's like, okay, we're already doing the walking part, which is going to burn 1,000 calories. Then you got the sleeping, which is 4 to 5, so that's relatively 1,500. So what else could we do to burn calories? Well, if you're thinking and moving your arms, like to do things like typing or swiping on TikTok, you're burning calories doing that. Breathing requires some calories. Even if you're standing burns calories, right? Because your muscles have to balance you and all that stuff. So, there's a lot that's going on your body temperature, right? And the list goes on, right? There's a lot that's going on that's burning calories. So eventually, at some point, you're going to be burning like 2,000 or more calories. But you don't know how much calories you are burning while you're sleeping, because your body might try to burn less calories while you're sleeping. So I'm just giving the average of how much you burn while you're sleeping. You could be burning less. Just like when you walking, you could be burning less because you might have long legs if you're a short person, right? So there's just some factors that will determine how little or how lot your calories you're burning. But for general purpose, understanding that you might burn like about 500 calories while you're sleeping, and then walk 10,000 steps and you burn another 1,000, so that's 1,500 calories you're burning there. And any other activity you do throughout the day might burn another 500 calories. That right there is a total of 2,000 calories. And if you only eat like 1,500 or less calories, well, you're going to be losing weight because you're in a deficit. Just by that alone, just by walking, sleeping, right? And any extra activity you do, like that you might do at work, or just you just living or playing video games or something, just living, you're going to burn roughly 2,000 calories. So with that combined, you have a pretty good idea that like, all right, as long as I eat under 2,000, I should be losing weight because I'm this active. But if you don't do the walking, for example, you're not guaranteeing that you at minimum burn 1,000 calories, right? Some people don't sleep for 8 hours straight, or even 10 hours. Some people already get 4 hours of sleep. Sometimes that happens to me where I might get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. So I definitely did not burn 400 to 500 calories, right? So things like that doesn't matter. Sleep is very important. To me, sleep is one of the laziest cardio. Like I classify sleep as cardio. So I make that joke from time to time on some people's fitness profiles about the fact that like sleep is cardio, because it is, right? Because all you really do while you're sleeping, besides other biological functions, is mainly burn calories. You're burning calories to do basic physical functions like healing and stuff like that. So when you're sleeping, that's just mainly cardio. So when you wake up, walking is cardio. So once you wake up, do some walking, boom, more calories burned. So you sleep, you burn calories, you walk, you burn calories, combined with a calorie deficit, weight loss, or at least weight control, which is the most important, because too many people don't control their weight, so they just keep getting bigger and bigger and then complain that they're too big. It's like, well, control your weight, right? Make sure that you put less calories in, right, but take more calories out while you're at it. And it's too easy, very easy to take calories out when you incorporate basic things like walking. At least try to make sure a minimum you walk 3K a day. That's just for basic health. Push it up to 5K a day, right? So you can get some fat loss results. But definitely try to go up to 10K steps a day, because especially in a week, that gives you way better results, especially if you do want to lose weight. So that's why if you see any videos like this one right here, that's in the background of this video, telling you that 10K is a step, it's not necessary, because you might have an office job, so you can't get the 10K steps, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of like try to make excuses to not walk 10Ks. But I like the fact that if you look at the comment section, a lot of people are arguing against it. They're pushing back, and that's good. It's like, yes, let's stop letting these influencers, tell us things without any proof, because I doubt he doesn't do 10K. I bet you he does 10 to 20K steps a day, but telling us, oh no, don't do 10K because most of you don't have the time to do it. It's like, no, you gotta stop making excuses to not do what we should be doing. We need to figure out how to do what we need to do, not figure out how not to. So I like the fact that a lot of people pushing back. Is like, yeah, like just because you have a desk job does not mean you can't burn calories. Because again, you can walk around your desk, you can get up and walk, you can get up, like stand up from your chair and sit back down, stand back up, sit back down. You could do that like 20 reps, right? 20 reps of that. You will notice that your heart rate's racing. Good. Like sit down and relax, right? Rest. Let your heartbeat go back to resting heartbeat, and then do another set. If you're not the type of person that likes to walk, that's okay. Because again, it goes back to eat less, move more. So as long as you're not eating like crazy, it's not that hard to to burn more calories than you consume. Now, obviously, I went down a different path in this conversation. The whole point was like I wanted to counter argue the statement, which was the whole you can't outrun a bad diet, or you can't out exercise a bad diet. And that's incorrect, because the whole point of a diet, the whole point of a calorie deficit, the whole point of a fitness journey is to outwork your diet, and your diet is whatever you're eating. So if you're eating donuts every day, right, pizza every day, McDonald's every day, the idea is you want to do a couple of things: eat less McDonald's, or no McDonald's, or just eat salad. Go that extreme, or eat half of the sandwiches, right? Eat half of the McDonald's. Eat one McDonald's meals a day instead of 3 meals a day, right? Reduce your the amount, or eat McDonald's once a week, or not eat McDonald's at all, right? The list goes on, right? Or create your own alternative, make your own burgers, fries, and whatnot. Like, get the idea, instead of you getting regular soda, get diet soda, or just drink water, and the list goes on. Eventually, you either reduce your calorie intake, or you keep your calorie intake the same. Let's say you eat 3,000 calories a day, you keep it at 3,000. You don't eat no more than that, and then you make sure you burn 3,000 plus calories. Then you release a minimum every day. You burn 3,000 calories, but ideally you want to burn a little bit more than that. So that way, at the end of a week, ideally you want to burn a minimum of 1 pound a week, if your goal is to lose weight, of course. But if you're just trying to maintain, at least for some of y'all who like, oh, I prefer to be big, body positivity, great, then do this. Even for you plus size people with body positivity, y'all still have to work out, y'all still have to exercise. Y'all can be big, but y'all still gotta go to the gym. Y'all gotta work on your cardio, you gotta work on your muscle, right? And get your muscles too strong, because being fat and weak is unacceptable. There's no excuse, there's no body positivity when it comes to being weak and unhealthy, being plus size. If you're big and you can run like a motherfucker, you're big and can lift heavy weights, then I don't care that you're big. Teach their own. Size is, subjective when it comes to, when it comes to attractive. Like, I like some women big, I like some women small, So, I like some women with more muscle, women with less muscle, women that are tall, women, and this goes on. And the same applies to guys, right? To what chicks like. But the main thing is, no one likes a weak person. No one likes an unhealthy, sickly person. So if you're skinny, you better be strong. If you're fat, you better be strong. There's no excuse to be weak. Weak equals sickness. So go to the gym, work against your diet, right? If you eat 3,000 calories a day, you better burn a minimum of 3,000 calories a day. That's all I'm saying. That way you at least break even. If you want to lose some weight, then burn more. If you're willing to put in the work, you can, out work a bad diet. However, I would obviously suggest and recommend is you improve your diet, reduce the calories you eat, so that way you don't have to work as hard or as much to, outwork your bad diet. Because the idea of a bad diet, what's a bad diet, right? What's the definition of that? What's a bad diet? It'll be junk food, right? That's what a bad diet will be considered, junk food. Okay, well, here's the thing: you can lose weight eating donuts. You can lose weight eating McDonald's. You just got to eat less of it, ideally, right? Once a day, type of thing. If you're eating McDonald's, because a Big Mac meal is like 1,000+ calories. So if you eat just one Big Mac meal a day, and mostly drink water, and then you do the 10,000 steps, which will burn 1,000 calories. So that will burn the McDonald's right there. And then any extra stuff you do, like sleeping, will burn more calories. You should be good, right? You should not be gaining weight, right? So yes, you can beat a bad diet, but do I recommend like everyone else to eat healthy and whatnot and eat whole foods, fruits and vegetables and meats and stuff, eggs and stuff? Yeah, of course. But this whole you can't outwork a bad diet. Yes, you can. The reason they tell you can't outwork a bad diet is because they're trying to promote the idea like don't eat junk food, eat healthy, which I'm not against. But the idea of like lying, essentially saying that you can't, be lose weight and use exercise as a way to counter the effects of the junk food, right? Which is like, because I get it, they're trying to promote eating healthy, but we don't need to lie to promote eating healthy. I'd rather you point out the benefits of eating healthy as opposed to eating junk food. Like instead of eating McDonald's, you can eat this instead, right? Like there are other fast food places you can go to where they have food. You can go to a Chinese buffet and eat a lot of meat, a lot of veggies, grab some fruit, eat some bananas, right? Have ice cream with banana, like a banana split, right? Try to get a small amount of ice cream. Don't eat too much, right? Logically, right? Because it's the whole calorie thing. So as long as you keep your calories low, eat whatever you like, whatever tastes good, right? And again, cardio, right? Walking, sleeping is the laziest, simplest cardio you can do, and then go from there. If you want to lift weights, great, even better. Because like I said, I don't want you to be weak, right? Whether you're skinny or fat, I don't care. You need to lift weights, right? You need to work out. You need to be physically fit. Humans are designed to be hunter-gatherers, right? Physically fit, to be moving. We're not. We did not evolve to sit on our asses, to be scrolling through TikTok. We're literally designed to walk, lift things, move things, eat things. So we would love it if we can get to a point where we don't need to eat food at all and drink at all, right? But still somehow get jacked, right? So we haven't evolved to that point yet. We still got to eat. We still got to drink. We still got to move. So do it.